What is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I wanted to show you stuff about filter and drive. Now filter appears on quite a lot of the SPs, so this isn't really exclusive to this device, and in fact this isn't exclusive to hardware at all. You can use this on any of your beats, whether you make them in Ableton, whatever it is that you make them on. There's bound to be some sort of filter that you can do these effects with. Now I actually love the filter and the drive on the SP. I think there's so many different uses for it. It's really versatile, and I'm going to go through a few of them today. So this is the first example I'm going to show you now. This is doing a sweep. It's really simple, and basically what you do is while the track is playing, you dial back the left hand dial slowly, and then on the beat you will release the effect again. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you that quickly here. And I'll just do that quickly one more time for you. So you get the idea of that one. It's very straightforward. You just dial the frequencies back, and then right on the beat you want to bring the effect off again, so it's kind of in time with the beat. Now a slight variation on this as well is that you can always fade them back in again as well, so I'll quickly show you that as an example too. So we're going to start off the same way with it right over to the right hand side, this left hand dial. So there you go, that's another quite interesting effect that you can do with it. And again, I'm trying to keep that in time with the track, so I'm going to start fading it back on the start of the bar, and then I'm going to wait until the next bar is coming along and listen to the beat and bring that back around to finish exactly at the start of the next bar, if that makes sense, or the start of the next loop that's going to come around. So I'll just demonstrate that one more time, so bear that in mind. You want to start on the first beat of the bar, dial it back, and you want to get that back to the original sound on the first beat of the loop again. So I'll just do one more demonstration of that so you can get the full idea of that one. Okay, so hopefully my finger there was helping you to show how I was keeping in time and waiting for that first beat of the loop again to bring that back round and make sure everything was back to normal by that point. It's really important to keep these in time, to keep these sounding really nice and fluid with the record or the beat that you've made. So the next example that I want to show you is this one which I figured out the other day, and it's kind of similar to that, but it's a lot quicker. Now I've not done this before, and it just occurred to me that it could sound quite cool, and I actually quite like the effect. So basically with this one, what you do is just kind of dial it back and forward again very quickly. And you can experiment with the timing of this one because you don't necessarily have to do this exactly on time because it's so quick, but I'll do a few examples of this and I'll try and get some good ones in there. It's quite hard to get this sounding good every time, but with a bit of practice you should be able to get some nice sounds out of this one. So this is what that sounds like. And you could hear as well there, if you start doing that more frequently, that's also kind of its own effect as well. So I'll do another demonstration now, and again, keep this in time with the beat. So you're basically doing it on every second note of the bar. I think that's correct in 4/4 times. So it's 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. You're keeping the timing along with that. So it's going 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. You're hitting the effect on the beat every time, not on the offbeat. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll do a demonstration of that as well. I hope that explanation makes sense. Now another great thing about the filter on the SP devices is that you can just kind of use it on the whole beat. Say you're recording in a beat into the SP, you can really take off those harsh high notes using the filter, and you can also add a lot of character and warmth using the filter as well. So again, I would definitely have both of these dialed down. You may be able to get away with a little bit of drive if you wanted to. So let's pretend that this beat was recording in, or let's say I was resampling it, and I'm going to apply a bit of filter. I'm not going to do too much because I don't want to ruin the dynamics of the whole beat, but I just want to give it that kind of lo-fi sort of muted sound to it. And if I take that off again, this is what that sounds like. And back on again. So that does really give it the kind of sound of running your beats through a cassette, that filter does. I think it does a really good job of that. Even though there is a cassette mode on this, I think the filter does a really good job of emulating that sound, just because it kind of mutes those higher frequencies and leaves you with this kind of muddier, more lo-fi sound. So it's a really, really versatile effect. Now, one last example, and I don't know if I've got the chops to be able to do this. I'm just going to have a look through some projects now.
Several months later.
Okay, so I found this little beat that I was working on, and what you can do is just apply the filter to the chops. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this whole thing live, but I'll try my very best. So I've got a drum loop going here. That sounds nice, and then I've got these chops. So I'm just going to try and jam something with those and apply a filter, but only to the samples and not the drums. Now, this is a really common technique you'll hear in hip-hop, and a lot of the time is to make way for the vocals. You can drop down all the dynamics of the chops so that the vocals really stand out against the beat. It's a really common technique with boom bap and hip-hop. So this is another fun one to use as well. So let me get these set up. I want to make sure that the effect is only applying to the samples. And we'll get this drum loop going, and then I'll apply the filter as that's playing, and you'll get the idea of what I'm talking about, hopefully. Okay guys, so there you go. There's loads of ideas for different things that you can do with the filter and drive. It pretty much is just a low pass filter, but there's lots of different versatile things you can do with that. And of course, if you want to as well, you can experiment with these resonance and drive dials as well. I don't tend to use them. I just use this as a low pass filter. So I'm cutting off all the highs and only letting the lows through, hence why it's called a low pass filter. It's letting the lows past, not the highs. So yeah, really good for sweeps, and then you can experiment with the sweeps. You can bring the dynamics down if someone's rapping over the top like that. There's loads of different creative things that you can do. So if you haven't used the filter that much before, I hope this helps. If you are familiar with it, I hope this gives you some new stuff to play with. And just before I go, guys, don't forget you can support me by heading to spvids.com and picking up some drums, or you can go to my Teespring account as well and pick up a t-shirt or a mug as well. Actually, I've got mugs on there as well. All that really helps me at the moment, as it's been a very difficult couple of months with bills and just a ridiculous amount of money getting on my account for household bills and things like that. So it would be greatly appreciated if you could check those out. But until next time, guys, try filter and drive, see what you can come up with. Keep making beats, and I'll be back with more content very soon. Peace.